What did it say? Because
there's an error because of something, and it did that last week, and then I just canceled it, and it worked.
Okay.
Should I do a refresh for someone?
Oh, you don't have to actually.
Really?
Yeah, it just started playing sound.
Hi! Look what I brought you.
Oh, thank you.
I don't know how to use it. I should. Oh my god! You're welcome. Can I bring you anything else, Margot?
I think I'm good.
Yay! Yay!
Use the iPhone SLR mount on the Gorilla Pod. All right. So I've got requests for you guys to tell you what's going on. So right now I'm shooting the GorillaPod king size, and I put the kick light on it. It's got a nice tripod mount on it, so I'm going to put several things on the GorillaPod. And I also changed my settings on my camera to a really long exposure, so the flash is going to fire, and then it's going to stay, my camera's going to stay open for about a second so that I can pick up the ambient light coming from the kick light. And I use a self-timer so that I don't shake it when it's going on. Do a couple of those. And then I'm going to switch it and put the Sony lens on it. This Sony lens has no battery. this guy on there. It's got a tripod mount. This strap up and screw it on there. And the idea I'm going for here is just to show how many things this Gorilla Pod can hold. So it can hold anything that's got a tripod mount. I'm going to attach my phone to the back of the Sony lens because it's got little clips for it too. And I'm going to change my camera back to f16 at 1/25 of a second. Still on self-timer. And I'm going to do one more with the SLR mount. So before I started shooting this, I used a little bit of ticky tacky to put underneath the Gorilla Pod's feet to keep it in the same place, and I'm making sure to keep my camera in the same place because I think I'm going to make an animated GIF out of these, or animated GIF, or whatever you want to call it. So I want to shoot this one more time with this product on it to make sure that I've got everything that I need. Try to not move the tripod. It's also why I tape down my background too, so that I try to minimize the movement between things. Now I'm going to shoot these Photojojo filters. Got really bright. They're pretty cool. And I propped up my phone on the Bolt charger, and then I'm going to just hold this in front of the camera lens. Test exposure. I'm going to put it on self-timer again so that I can hold it in front of there. This would probably be a little more interesting with music, but Google didn't like that. Sorry, guys. So I'm going to do this one more time. And somebody asked online why I hold up the black piece of paper, and it helps to reduce the glare that's coming off of the phone. The Samsung phone has a lot of reflections in it all the time. So by doing this, I can make it a solid color instead of seeing my hands or my shirt or whatever's in the studio behind it. I'm going to do self-timer again. And be really quick. One more time. Still seeing a little bit of my shirt. Maybe I should do a longer self-timer. One more time to get in position. And what I'm working on today is doing a bunch of photos that we're going to use on our storefront. And I'm doing it with each device. So I've got Android, iPod, iPhone, and when it's necessary, iPad. So that's why I'm kind of shooting the same thing a whole lot of times. I'm going to do the same thing with this one, do a self-timer, and just hold this up in front of the lens. And so now I'm going to use the iPad. I also like to keep a lot of these guys around so I can clean off phone screens. So that it makes less work in Photoshop. This one I'm going to set up a little bit different because the iPad is so much bigger, and I use other products to like help prop it up. Is this self-timer again? I'm going to pull this light a little bit more in the front because my shadows are really harsh. Just a little bit. Brighten this light a bit more. That's a little better. Let me try it one more time with just a different arrangement. This next product I'm going to shoot is brand new. We haven't even launched it yet. So shh. Super telephoto. And I'm going to zoom out a bit for this one because I'm going to end up putting two of these together where you see the front and back at the same time. A little photo magic, Photoshop magic. Next photo I'm going to do is going to be of everything flat, of what all comes in the box. So I end up photographing this upside down because the light makes my shadows go this way. So if everything were shot the way I'm seeing it right now, the shadows would be above it. So I flip everything around so that it looks more natural with the shadows falling below instead of going above something. And the other thing I do for this is take my camera off and I zoom out and hold it straight above. And try to get my lights pretty close. Hold it straight above and try to be like super parallel with everything so that there's not any kind of warped lines. Do adjustments. I also try to hold my camera pretty high up because the lens is so wide that when it's zoomed all the way out, it gets distortion on the edges. So I try to make sure everything's in the center so when I crop it, it looks straight on. The next product I'm going to shoot is the Phone filter stock. And there we go. And stock filters. This device widens so you can put it on any phone. So I'm going to show it on 3 different phones. On iPhone, Android, and iPod. And then these filters are nice glass filters, but they get really dusty. So I like to try to clean everything as much as I can because it all shows up on camera. When I get it into the computer and Photoshop, I end up having to clone stamp a lot of little dust spots out. Make everything look nice. Especially So another one of my little tricks is having glue dots on hand. So they're really clear and sticky, and I can attach them to anything, and it'll help me hold something in place without being too visible, so that if it does show, it's really, really easy to Photoshop it out. So I'm going to put those on these little guys so that they stay standing up. The only thing about the glue dots is they tend to stick a little too well to the paper. So sometimes it'll rip my paper when I pull it up, but there's lots of paper. I'm using the bolt charger to hold up the phone. It does a really good job. Nice. It's got a nice weight to it, so it can support something that feels like it's slippery. Do that. Mostly trying to support things. Now, a lot of times, I'll shoot down just a little bit. It's very nice angle for the website. Okay, so those things are just because they're asking lots of questions. I don't know what brand glue dots these are. They're just regular glue dots. These are about yay big. Can you see them? No. You can't see them. I'll find out and get back to you. I haven't had pictures from them in a while. They last a long time. Let's see. So, with this one, I think I'm gonna put it on a tripod as well because it's got a tripod mount. And that's pretty cool. I'm gonna try it with this too. Okay, let's just go again. For this photo, I'm going to go ahead and put all 3 pictures back on. Do this too. Now I'm going to do the same photos but with an iPhone and an iPod. So now I'm going to do the same photo that I did with the Android, but with the iPod, with the filters lined up on the table and just one on the device. And that's going to be our storefront photo that you'll see on the web page. And I use a filter to try to get a cool reflection in the glass. The other way I can do that is just to angle the phone a little. Now I'm going to do a couple of shots with our macro band. To rubber bands over your lens with a macro, and they say it'll stretch all the way over an iPad. We're going to try it. First I have to take off the magnetic ring that's on there. Really hard to do. Right. Let me see if this can stretch. It works. Actually, I'm going to grab one more macro pen. I'm going to stretch it across our iPad mini so that you can see it'll fit on an iPad and a mini. So this one I'm going to use the bolt charger to hold the mini up just a little bit in front of the, whoops, iPad biggie. Sometimes it's tricky to get everything to stand up. We have two more products. So we basically have photos for everything, and I realized last week that I forgot to make a photo to combine two products. So I'm going to do that right now so that when you add it to your cart that it has both products showing.
Sorry, Margaret.
He's Drew.
I thought I might be packing up this one.
I don't know if it just went weird.
Hi, Margot.
I don't know if it.
I brought you some awesome questions. Who's alive? I guess we'll find out. So we have them in the cards with these. But everybody knows there's audio, right?
Yeah, but we have to add all these stickers. Is that everything?
Mm-hmm. So people come out basically.
Yeah, just drink it. Oh wait. Can you see us? Yeah, yes. Quickly. Yeah.
Oh my god, we'll be back.
Can you see me? it might be working. Oh, hey, hello.
How's everybody?
Yay. We're here. We're live. Let's do it. Awesome. I should have put it at the top. I'm not just in the thing. I'll have these lights.
Yeah, that's all right.
I wish I could read.
We're also shaking here.
Everything's all right? Okay. What are you shooting, Margo?
I'm just finished shooting the glyph and the zip shot for a part image.
Awesome.
I was going to show people other stuff that we have in our studio.
Well, I brought some questions for you. Because we gathered a lot of awesome questions from you guys on the internet.
Yay, thanks guys.
Yay, thanks. We're so smart.
And then over here,
Yeah.
we got
No, we don't have to write them all, but there's a really good one that came in on Facebook that I think is a really good one to start with from Taryn. And she wanted to know, does it make you feel weird to have the internet staring at you?
Yes, very weird. But hopefully that didn't come across.
Yeah, I don't think so. And also, she wants to know where, if you did you go to school for photography?
Yeah, I did go to school for photography. I got my master's degree from San Jose State. In San Jose?
Cool, it's right here.
Yeah, not too
Really
bad.
close.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Wow.
I just brought it.
Sorry, I was distracted. Margaret
I
has
was going to
something.
show you guys just some things that hang out at the studio, just in case.
You know, stuff that we use.
Yeah. Trying to think what else you guys wanted to see.
Confetti, I think all the confetti we put away.
I was in confetti today. Sorry, guys. We use confetti a lot.
And dinosaurs.
And dinosaurs.
Ashley on Facebook was wondering what kind of lights you use for studio photography and if they're constant lights or strobe lights.
That's a really good question. So the lights we have are Alien Bees, and they are the B800, and we use 2 of them. They are strobes, but they have a constant setting, so they're constantly on now. But when I fire my camera or press the test button, then they flash. It's a fire movie.
That's awesome. Yeah, there's lots of comments about how awesome it looks.
Yeah. So the cool thing too is that that's a flash is a daylight balanced light. So right now it's a tungsten. It looks kind of yellow, but then when it flashes, then it's more of a white light. So that's what makes everything look pretty.
Cool. On chat, we had some really cool questions about your workflow. Somebody awesomely named Hello Goodbye. I don't know who that is, but they sound awesome. They're wondering what your daily workflow is like, and more specifically, do you photograph and edit the images as well, or do you only shoot the products one after another? Also, how many items do you shoot per day on a typical day?
Well,
So that's a pretty loaded question.
That is. It depends. My workflow is different every day. It depends on how much stuff I need to shoot. Right now, I'm working on a project where I want to show everything on each device. So Android, iPad, iPhone. If it's compatible, we want to show it for each one. So that gives me a lot of products to shoot. But mostly on a normal day, then I shoot maybe one product a week. So I'll work in the studio for a day or two, and then I'll go out and do the lifestyles with a model for a day or two, make a video, and yeah, I shoot and edit, but usually not in the same day. So I'll do a lot of shooting and then maybe wait a day or so and then do a lot of editing and spend a day at the computer and try to make everything out. I feel like there was another part of that question.
Yes. So to answer your question, Margot does it all. So she does everything in-house for us. She edits and shoots.
Yeah.
So yeah, it sounds like you're shooting all the photos first and then editing later.
Yeah, and then sometimes when I edit, then I'll realize I need something slightly different, so I'll reshoot a little bit. So it always just depends on the product and what we want to get across. Usually my days are filled with confetti. Today just isn't one of those days.
That actually leads me to a really good opportunity for a shout out from Twitter. Kathy Spies said she said she wants your job.
I always need assistants and models. Come model for me.
Yes, we love models and assistants.
Yes.
So all are welcome. Please.
But I like my job. It's really fun.
Yes. I'm glad to hear that, Margot. We don't keep Margot here against her will, just so you know. This may only refer to before our brief blackout, but we had a question about your studio shooting soundtrack.
Oh no. What was it?
Well, what is it? What's your studio shooting soundtrack? What do you like to listen to?
It's usually just a Spotify mix. I like to mix it up to where there's a lot of fast stuff, and yeah, it depends on the day. Sometimes I'm in a certain mood, but usually I'll just play one mix and put it on shuffle and let that ride.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. I think my mix got us in trouble earlier. Google wasn't very fond and blocked us out.
Oh, this is a fun one. What's your favorite GIF? I know this is going to put me in one camera. GIF. What's your favorite GIF you've made?
Man.
We have a lot of really good ones on our website, so those of you who aren't familiar might just need to go and poke around.
Yeah, and I was trying to think of one to make today, but most of the stuff I was doing was just storefront images. I like them all. They're all really fun. I think that's one of the funnest things that I get to do is just decide, like, what is something going to do? It's going to be animated. Is it going to, like, take on this personality? And then how do I make that happen? What's the best one? I don't know. I can't think off the top of my head. There's so many. I think over the holidays we did one where we had all of the dinosaurs that I showed you in this box attack my friend Kim.
I remember that one.
And that one was really fun. It did take a really long time, but it was cool. Yeah. We'll do that one. For now.
Yeah.
For the next one.
Oh, I love your GIFs, Maria. I'm
Really
really happy.
I also did other ones where Polaroids talk to each other, and those were really fun too.
That was good. We had, I don't think we have them anymore, which is a bummer, but we might have one sitting around here anyways. We had the little pouches
Oh yeah.
for our cell phone lenses.
Yeah, that one's really fun.
They came around and they ate the lenses. That was really fun. Yeah. GIFs.
You guys can look at this one for the pouchy pouch. They're kind of like Pac-Man shaped anyway, so yeah.
So that's the most fun part is because you get to animate it and
Yeah.
you get to like decide something really fun.
Get really creative, and then figure out how to make it work.
I love it. We also had another really good question that's a little more on the technical side. Linda came in on Facebook and she said that she was a little late to the live video feed, and maybe you explained this, but she saw a black flexible film or something on the product table,
And she was wondering, was that to block light reflections on the product, or was it for something else, or maybe you could explain?
Yeah, and I saw that question somehow. I saw it pop up, but yeah, I use this black piece of construction paper, and I use it a lot to exactly what you said, Linda, block reflections. Especially with our Samsung phone, it's really, really shiny on the back, so it picks up everything. So I'll see my umbrellas and things, or like my hands hitting the shutter button. And sometimes I'll just see like the reflection of the white from the table where I want things to be like a smooth black. So I'll hold that as close in as I can to help block that out. And it's just construction paper, so anything dark would do. Yeah, even like a black shirt when I haven't had construction paper. If I have like a jacket or something, or if I'm outside, I'll use that a lot too, like a black jacket to help block light.
Is that something that you find that's like hard to work with, since we, obviously we have so many phone accessories?
Yeah.
Do you find it really hard to work with reflections on products and like modeling light?
Yeah, I think it's all about angle, and I think sometimes the reflections are nice because it gives dimension, like to a camera lens or a cell lens. It'll give that dimension, but on the phone it just becomes this like muddled mess. Sometimes on the screens it's not bad. You'll just see like half of a line going through your screen. But on the back of the Samsung, I'll show you guys, it's just like really, really reflective. The iPhones and the iPads aren't that crazy. But this one also holds fingerprints a lot, so like you can see everything. Yeah. And then if I hold up the black, then it'll block that out. And that just means like less work that I have to do post.
Yeah.
So it
Well, I
helps.
love that this is like just what we have in the studio. And
Yeah.
it's the same thing that like people would use at home.
Yeah,
Like,
totally. I mean, they make really expensive gobos and things, but this will work just fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does the trick.
Yeah.
Right? On chat, there was a few like variations of this question. People were curious about whether you had tethered to the computer because they didn't see cables, or whether maybe you're using an Wi-Fi, or whether maybe you choose not to do that, or maybe it depends on the day.
That's a good question. I don't shoot tethered. I probably should at some point, but I just am a little bit more flexible as far as I usually have my computer there. Today, what I was doing was looking at the storefront images to see, because I want them to be similar to what already exists. So I would go back and check that. Also make sure there wasn't any kind of technical difficulties going on. But I don't shoot tethered, but that's an idea that I should try at some point. Yeah.
So you just like use the screen to check fine-tune focus and stuff
Yeah,
like that?
and then what I'll do a lot is zoom in a lot on my product and make sure everything's focused. I shoot at f16, so most of the time, unless I'm doing something really macro, then it's going to be in focus in the range that I need it to, and I do a little check at the beginning. And yeah, I also leave on my, just another like technical thing, I leave on my highlight alert so that I know if I'm like blowing out the highlights. That's one of the main things I rely on, just to make sure I'm not shooting things too overexposed.
So once you're like here in the studio and you have like the lights set up and like you've checked the balance of the lights and like your focus and everything, like you're pretty sure.
Yeah, and I think that just comes with the practice of it too, because I've been doing it for a long time. So I'm a lot quicker than I used to be. When I first started working for Photojojo, I would spend a lot longer in the studio because I would try a million angles and a million different exposures, but now I kind of have more of a hang of what I need and know what I need, so it's a lot quicker for me to go through. You know, I can shoot 10 products in a couple hours instead of a couple of days like it used to take.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what you're telling people is that they should just go out and photograph more.
A bunch.
A bunch.
Yeah. There's a lot all the time.
That's awesome. Rob B says he hopes all is well and to say hi to SMK.
Oh, hi, Rob.
That's awesome.
I haven't seen Rob in forever.
Trevor Trainer said, "Pow."
Trevor.
So yeah, besides that, we just had a lot of questions about like what the camera is and
Yeah. Yeah, I
people want to
did a little.
know what you shoot with.
Sure. I did a little intro at the very beginning, but that was at the very beginning. So we use Alien B lights. I use a Canon 5D Mark III and a 24 to 70 L lens. This one opens up to 2.8, which is really, really nice, that I don't use in the studio, but I use out a lot. This little contraption fires my lights, so I can press test and it'll make the lights go.
Those nice flashes.
Yeah, and it's nice because it's so little. So this fires my lights. Let's see, whatever.
How do you prefer to shoot when you're like outdoors? Do you have like a flash unit that you take with you?
That's a good question. I usually don't use flash outdoors at all. I like to find open shade and shoot with that and find like really colorful spots that are in the shade. The shade is nice because I have even lighting versus shooting in full sun is often like really, really harsh. And if I have models, then they're squinting and I'm like look directly at the sun and they get really mad and sad. So I try to stay in the shade. Keep your fire. It's smiles. Yeah. So they get mad when I do that. So I try not to do that too much. But yeah, I shoot in the shade a lot, and I try to just rely on my exposures. Sometimes I'll take a reflector with me, but I don't do too much flash outside of using flash in the studio.
Yeah, so that's like the best way to take advantage of natural light is
Yeah.
to have a reflector. And if you don't have a real reflector, what you can use anything.
Yeah,
that you
white
have.
paper or yeah, those car reflectors are really cheap too that you put up in your windshield.
That's smart.
Yeah, so anything like that, or just standing near like a white wall too will help. But yeah, I find for the style of photos that we like to put on our website that we like them to be more natural in the flash. Sometimes it's really nice, but sometimes it just feels too artificial, too added.
So I want to know what's your favorite camera to shoot with when you're not shooting for Photojojo?
Well, I shoot with this one a lot, but I shoot with my iPhone a lot more.
That's your favorite?
Yeah, because it's the one I use the most.
Yeah.
In my pocket.
It's always with you.
Yeah. Yeah, but this one is really great. I also have a Polaroid land camera that I love that actually my wonderful coworkers bought for me this past summer. And it's like the best thing ever. So, yeah, between those three, I have lots of cameras at home, but those three are like my choice.
I'm sure your phone is the best because you use it all the time, and you probably use it all the time because you can just whip it out and take a photo.
Yeah.
But if there was a thing that you use with your iPhone that you feel like you couldn't live without, or that, you know, because your phone is your favorite camera, like, what would you take as your photography tool
This one.
for your phone?
Oh, my photography tool for my phone?
Would it be like a GorillaPod, tripod? Would it be a lens? Like, what would be
All
your
of
favorite
those things.
tool for your
Everything from Photojojo.
This isn't a shameless plug, I promise.
No, I mean, the beauty of my job is
You have to pick one, Margot.
I get to play with all of them, so I take them all every time. And I always have like 10 bags, and I always feel like a bag lady. What do I use the most though? I think tripods are definitely really important. The flip is super handy.
The flip, yeah, because it just connects to any tripod that you already have.
Yeah. And then I like to keep all of our lenses. The wide angle I use a lot more than anything else. And plus it's the wide and macro, so I feel like it's really versatile.
Yeah.
So I can always have those on me. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I wonder if we got any new questions on chat. And then Bear with us, guys. We're looking for your new questions. I'm not on screen.
So nice. We got Teresa at Teresa Basic
Nice.
Models and Assistants. Come on. You guys can email me also, Margot at Photojojo.
Margot at Photojojo.
If you have questions that you didn't get in, or if you want to model for us. What other questions do we have?
Be a model for us. Help us out. Send us your questions. Well, her. Strobes for tabletop. Yeah, we definitely use those.
Yeah, I definitely use strobes over constant lights. I used to have constant lights, and actually I use them now for video. We use them a lot for our demo that we did last week. But I find that my exposure has to be longer, and it just makes my workflow a lot longer. So with the strobes, then I know exactly what I'm gonna get. And
yeah, I think that was like, yeah, as a more technical thing, I think that was like the main limitation for us with the constant lights is like we want really, really clean photos with a super white background.
yeah,
And so the strobes just let us do that faster.
yeah. And yeah, alien bees are definitely less expensive, but they're just as awesome. And totally portable too. They have power packs that I can take outdoors with me if I need to do that. So they're a good way for us to do it. Let's see what else.
Yeah, totally. So we have some constant lights here, and like Marco said, we use them for video shoots sometimes, and also for when we do photo booths or stuff like this.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Sweet.
So what else do you take with you on location? Is there anything special that you prep for your models?
Well, I do a lot of planning before I go out with models, so I'll take things that are specific to what we need for the shoot. So for like any new product, I sit down and think about what we want to show, and then if we need props, like do we need confetti or silly string or balloons, or do we need tripods? So I'll pack all that stuff up ahead of time and take that out. Other than that, like standard, I take this camera and this lens, and then I also have a 50mm lens. That's a 1.4 that I use a lot. And then I always take my tripod. Sometimes I will do videos when I'm out with models too, and that's when I like to make sure that I have my tripod with me, even though like it's heavy and I don't want to lug it around all the time. But anytime I don't take it, then I end up needing it and wishing I had it. So now I just get in the habit of grabbing it and taking it
And
with
this
me.
is the same tripod you take? You just hold it up?
Yeah, I take that one with me because it's relatively lightweight, so it's okay.
So that's another thing, video. Do you shoot videos on here? Because this camera has the ability to do video, right?
Yeah, I do all of our videos and everything on there, except our Jokestagrams, those I do on my iPhone. And then, so yeah, that's the camera I shoot videos with, and it's super nice because the head rotates and I can move it any way that I want. But yeah, that's anytime I try to handhold video, then when I get it on the computer, it's always just too shaky, and
even if it's a really short clip. So I try to always use a tripod or a monopod.
I know we normally overlay like music in our videos.
Yeah.
When you're recording video for Photojojo, are you using any special video stuff on your camera, like a microphone or
No, not at the
tools?
moment. Because what I've been doing most of the time is just taking our audio out. If I wanted to do audio on this camera, I would probably need something external. I haven't done a lot of that yet, so I can't even like talk about what I would need. But definitely would need something to pick up any kind of quality audio because the audio in here is not good. And when I'm with a model doing videos, a lot of times I'm telling them like, do this or do that, and so I really, which is also why I didn't talk earlier, I really don't like to hear my voice on video, so I just delete it right away. I mute the entire clip and then make my edits from there.
Yeah, so it's usually pretty funny to actually hear it when you're editing it.
Yeah, and I just like, no, I don't want to hear it.
Go ahead, jump. Look at the camera.
1, 2, okay, start. Things like that.
Cool. So yeah, you're not using any extra. You're using basically the same tools, like reflectors and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Cool. How do you edit videos?
I use Final Cut Pro for videos, and I use Photoshop for all of our still photos.
And GIFs too?
Yeah. Sometimes if there are a lot of frames, then I'll run them through Lightroom. But I think I started editing on Photoshop, and so it's more familiar to me, and I can get the results that I want better than using Lightroom, even though there's arguments for both. But yeah, those are my tools: Final Cut, Photoshop, and iPhone, Light.
Do you have any special? I want to know more about GIFs since we're just here
Sure.
chatting.
Sure.
Do you do any special like tricks for GIFs? Like, do you use, I don't know, fishing wire or gum?
Yeah.
Or I don't know.
All the secrets. No, I'm
You
just
don't have to
kidding.
tell us all of your secrets. You can tell us some of your
Yeah.
secrets.
No, those are really good tools. I use the glue dots a lot, and I use Tiki Taki a lot too because the Tiki Taki won't stick to my paper as much. So just like regular old Tiki Taki that you hang up pictures with. Sometimes the glue dots will stick to my table and like tear the paper, so then you see that later on.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm doing something with a lot of movement, then I'll use the Tiki Taki and just try to hide it as much as I can. Fishing wire is good for making things like float and levitate. And then, yeah, just being really, a lot of times I'll use my tripod, or all the time I'll use my tripod, but I just got a little remote trigger for my camera also, which I've started using the last week or two because I would notice even when I'd come over and hit the shutter that my camera would move just a little bit,
Oh, wow.
and that would make it like just take longer to line things up in Photoshop. So if I'm just really sure that I'm not touching anything, that it stays in the same place, it makes it so much easier.
Steady.
Yeah.
Very steady.
Yeah.
So wow, like, even if you could like stand back the tripod, like steady.
Yeah. Because even if it just shifts a little, then
It's just more work for you later.
yeah, then I just have to line it up, or you'll see that shift. Do you want to make a GIF?
Sure.
Okay, we're gonna make a GIF of Amy.
Oh yeah.
So I'm gonna pull the lights back because Amy's tall.
Yeah, I'm
and
really
she's-
tall, you guys.
I'm not gonna make her sit on the table.
I might break the table.
We're gonna be stand up on the table.
Okay. Should I be doing something?
I'm gonna have you stand up on the table
Okay.
and stare directly into the lights. Just kidding.
Oh my gosh, you're gonna blind me.
Just kidding, guys. No enemies will be harmed. So let's step out of it.
Nice.
Okay. What should we have you do?
What should I do, guys?
Didn't have you. Amy's so tall. Amy has to sit.
I can sit.
You can sit everything. So another trick that we'll do with gifts a lot of times is I will set my focus and then I'll put it on, if I know she's going to stay in the same zone, then I'm going to put it on manual focus. So then if she moves slightly, then it's not trying to like refocus if I have it on auto. So I'm going to focus on her, take the photo, and then I'm going to put it to manual. Okay, so do you want to start with that in your head? There you go. Then move it a little. A little bit more. Okay. Do we make it pop?
No.
Good. Push it like towards the camera. And then it should be the last one that's just holding in front of the camera. Yay! You should like shimmy out of the frame. Alright, enjoy.
Oh my god, Margot is so good, you guys.
Hold on. It's so bright. Make it not so bright. Trying to make it not overexposed for you guys.
Sorry, guys.
Sorry, guys.
Technical difficulties. This will be online later. Margot, you're the best.
Thanks for joining me in the studio,
It was
you
really
guys.
awesome hanging out with you.
It's fun hanging out with you guys.
Margot, you're the
Don't
best.
be so creepy next time. Just kidding. Alright, bye.